very shortly. Right, okay. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. We're just letting the stream settle itself down because it's reaching maximum strength. I can see it on the monitors right now. We seem to have a good stream. So, yeah. Richard's trying to tell me whether or not we're live. Right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm calling from London. I'm in the Courthouse Hotel in London, which used to be actually a courthouse, as I said earlier. I had to delete the last live stream because someone turned up and I might have got him in shot, so they wanted me to delete the video, so I did. Anyway, we're now here at the Football Lads Alliance film preview, Together for the Children. And I'll just show you the big poster behind me there. I hope you can catch that. That's the poster, Together for the Children. And we've got a lot of people here whose names you may well know. So, well, we've got Wendell, of course. He's here. Wendell's here, of course. Everybody knows Wendell. And he is having a bit of a... And then we have AY here as well.
How you doing, you all right?
Yeah, we're back on stream again.
Yeah, you're back on stream again. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all.
And what did you think of the film?
Do you know what? It was touching.
It was, wasn't it?
You know, and I've said it so many times I've said it on podcasts with Liam. I've said it to Justin as well. Like, I was one of them people during that stage where I was not quiet, but I didn't know about all this sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me to be able to be invited to something as well, do you know what I mean? To actually sit there and watch this stuff, it's horrible. It just gives me more strength, to do what I do, going around to the hotels. It gives me more of a drive. Do you know what I mean? To be able to go around and actually show it, and always remember, that there's people like Justin, that have been doing this for a lot longer.
Absolutely.
And it's all good and well. Like, people look at the new thing and say, "Oh yeah, look, AY this, AY that." No. Justin, Phil. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. When you look back, you suddenly, where was I?
Where was I?
Yeah, where were we?
Yeah, exactly.
I was too busy stuck. Yeah.
Not too busy, but just in our 9 to 5 life.
Yes.
Yeah. And not caring about other people's the wrong word, but so wrapped up in your own life, because look what the governments have done to us. They've made it so we can't have days off work, because cost of living is just so through the roof. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're looking at things nowadays where, like, you take a day off work or whatever to do something, and it's just, do you know what I mean?
I know.
It's difficult.
Yeah. It's the same for me, but I still feel guilty that maybe I should have done a bit more.
But I look at it now and I think, look at the work that we're doing now. Even yourself, Jeff, like the amount of protests that I see yourself at during the summertime. Now, I don't know where you travel from. It's none of my business.
Dorset.
But there you go. And you have been at, look, I've seen you at Epping. Numerous occasions at Epping. I've seen you at Britannia. I've seen you up and down the country. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, I do my best. It is hard sometimes. But I don't take it away from other people. I mean, you have to be there to see me, and so do other people.
Look, exactly. Do you know what I mean?
And long may it continue.
Like what they said down there, together we are stronger. It doesn't matter about views, it doesn't matter about clicks, it doesn't matter about, this one's got that, this one's got... It doesn't matter about none of that. Collectively, it's a team effort, because together everybody achieves more.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that's the way forward.
Well, you keep it going.
Thank you, Jeff.
You keep it going, definitely.
You keep it going as well.
I will.
And there's the governor.
Oh, look, there he is.
There's the governor.
Look, all I've got to do is say, here is is someone you know as well, who he and I have come, we've had our little chat, haven't we?
It was one of my favourite ones, actually. He was an absolute joy, and it was good to see you on the big screen in there.
That caught me out, that did. Well, they did warn me. They said you might be appearing, and then to be in the credits afterwards, I thought, actually, I feel a bit of a fraud, you know what I mean? Because
you've been around a lot. Well, that's the thing, a lot of people have been around a long time, and it's the ones like you that stick the path and don't buckle. You're the ones that count, that will influence the other people.
Well, thank you for saying that, but there are people like you and the AY I've just had a chat with, is people like him, and there are lots of newcomers coming, and we've got to keep the pressure on.
Everyone needs to do, even if it's just a little bit, but just put a little bit of pressure on yourself every day to say something that you see that you don't like, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't add up, that puts children in grave danger, any kind of jeopardy. Like, if we all do a little bit, like, massive things will come off the back of it, but we've all got to encourage each other to do it by doing it.
Yeah, what did you think of the film itself?
It was inspiring, also sad at the same time. It was inspiring to see people put their differences aside to come together for the greater good and a bigger cause, but it was saddening to see that there were people objecting to that. So you've got like groups of different people from different football clubs that are normally arch rivals, enemies, would normally kill each other given the opportunity, pull together to protect children that are being sexually exploited, and you've got people protesting against that. That's the sad thing. So that's the radical left that we're dealing with every day. So we've got to get to Parliament, to make them listen to us. We need to get past these radical leftists before we can even get to where we need to get to. And they're just a fucking
but it's like
a hazard.
It's like they want it to happen. It's like they want to put our children at risk.
If I was MI5, I would look at these protests, I'd look at the marches, I'd look at who was behind uniting people, what they were protesting against, which is the exploitation of children, the sexual exploitation of children, and I would look at the people that are protesting against that, and I would map every single one of them out, and I'd investigate every single last one of them. Why would you object to that unless you've got some very unsavoury skeletons in your closet? So fucking think twice before you start protesting against people that are protesting for the protection of our children.
They should be on our side. They should be on the same side. It's not our side. It should be on the children's side.
Exactly that. Well, if you're going against people that are promoting the safety of children, then you are against the children, and you need some jail time yourself. At the very least, some psychiatric fucking help.
Well said. Yeah, I agree with you. Totally.
Wankers.
I'll catch you later on. Are you staying around for the night?
Is this live?
Yes.
No, I'm going home.
Oh, right then. Good man.
I'll see you later.
Yeah. Have a good one. Well, we all know who that is, don't we? Yeah. And there you go. There's another person who was here. Tommy got an award today as well. Hello, mate. How's it going?
Good, mate.
What did you think of that film?
I thought it was great. I thought it was good to watch the history, see the story told. I bet they could have made 10 films from all the footage I've got of all the historical demos. Give me the buzz looking at September 13th, seeing all the scenes.
Oh, yes. We're looking forward to the next one.
I'm walking the route tomorrow in the morning, meeting the morning.
Do you mind if I come along?
We're not videoing it because we can't put anything out until we're in negotiations with the police.
Okay.
Still
I'm
going
not allowed. I'm not
back
allowed.
and forward with the police every week, just trying to get the agreements. Because the council won't be on our side, the government won't be on our side, so we have to work around that. But all things are looking good.
Yeah,
good.
Excellent. Oh yeah, I thought the film was great and inspiring, and it tells a story about a group of people.
And it tells those men who are watching that, just get the fuck up off your sofa, man.
Yeah, everybody
start joining these groups, start supporting them. You see, if the whole country took to the street tomorrow, I mean the whole street, as in millions. If millions shut down the capital, we'd have our revolution tomorrow. There would be change tomorrow.
Right, yeah.
So when you come on May 16th, bring your stuff because we ain't leaving.
Right, yeah, good one. See you later. There you are, yeah. So the story is for everybody to get involved, ladies and gentlemen, especially the gentlemen must get involved. So let's go and see if we catch up with Actually, I just want to catch up with now, Sarah.
How are you?
I'm fine. We had a chat earlier. Now,
We did
what
have a chat
did
earlier.
you think about that film?
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was incredibly heartbreaking as well. I think people don't actually understand what's really going on in our country. It's okay people saying grooming gangs, they're not grooming gangs. It's okay people saying rape gangs, and people just think about rape. And again, that is something that is a terrible, terrible situation for anybody to be in. But I don't think they really understand the extent of what is really going on, because people don't want to open their eyes. They don't want to understand, because the moment they do, you get all of these lefties that counter-protest about people, men, standing up for the protection and safety of women and children. Young children getting raped, not just once, multiple times, hundreds of times. What on earth does that do to a family? What on earth does that do to that young girl? What does it do to her future? They're never going to survive from that. Although they call them survivors because they're still here, they haven't committed suicide like a lot of them do. And what does it do mentally to them? Yes, they're survivors, they're still here.
Yeah.
They will never get over what's happened to them.
No.
And it's heartbreaking. And just hearing some of the stuff in that film, that's not even the tip of the iceberg.
No, that's a worrying thing.
That is what's heartbreaking. That's not even the tip of the iceberg.
But the other side of it, of course, is that it's normalising it amongst certain men.
Yes.
Because it's allowed, it's permitted, it's no one ever. What's that going to do?
We know that in certain cultures, that if you're born as a woman, it means that you have done something bad in a previous life.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so they don't look at women with respect. They don't look at women and think she is to be protected. They look at women as a sex. Our one kingdom, there's no place for that. There's no part of that in Western civilization. We are evolved and we are developed as people. We are good, upstanding people as general across Europe. And, I always go back to talking about Poland, and you see how the men respect their women so much. They respect their family unit so much. The family unit works so well. And unfortunately here, it's being taken and pulled apart at every single turn. And that's happening from the establishment. That's past and present governments. And we need to put a stop to it. And I think the Football Lads Alliance, with what they started, and the likes of Tommy Robinson as well, and everyone coming together, and it's really making a change. It's a slow change. It's not something that happens overnight, because unfortunately, the likes of me and you are fully awake. We know what's going on. We know what needs to be done to save and preserve our country, our culture, our history, our women, our children. However, there are certain people that would rather not listen to the facts and listen to what's actually going on, and they will turn a blind eye and they will bury their head in the sand, and they will just come and counter-protest and say you're racist. It's nothing to do with race, it's nothing to do with religion, it's nothing to do with... It is culture, unfortunately. But we are here, we are united, we are the people that stand up for the safety and well-being of children, the protection of children, and that's boys and girls. And yes, you only have to look at the Catholic Church. You know, my dad was a strong Catholic, come from a strong Catholic Irish family. My mum's Protestant. When you look at the failings in the Catholic Church, the reason why my father wouldn't allow me to be Catholic is because of what happened in the Catholic Church. What happened in his school when he was a child. You know, he always said he was a lucky one, he only got beaten by the priest.
Only?
Yeah, only beaten, you know, and he was thankful for that. We need to look at everything. We need to protect our children. However, there is a strong demographic of certain people that think it's okay to rape and sexually abuse young white girls. And we know that it goes on within their own community. However, it's not allowed to be spoken about because it is damning to certain people's personalities and everything, and it needs to be spoken about. It needs to be brought to the forefront. People need to stop counter-protesting. protesting when we're standing up for the protection of women and children?
Children are children, whatever their colour, race, creed,
I don't
religion.
care. I will protect a child no matter
Correct,
what.
yes.
And a child deserves my protection and every single person's protection. And every single person here, if there was a child being abused or assaulted outside that very front door right now, every single one of these men in this room would run out to defend and protect that child. End of. Every single person in this whole room has got respect for women and children. And it is men, women and children, because there is rape happening to men as well. Young boys, it's happening to. It's not just girls. It's happening. And we need to stop that in our country, in our communities. And our councillors, our council workers, social workers, police officers, judges, politicians, they're all complicit in allowing this to facilitate. And they all need to be held accountable. Rupert Lowe is obviously holding the grooming gang inquiry right now. Who is going to be held accountable for their actions? What politicians are going to be held accountable? What council workers? What social workers? What police officers? What medics are going to be held accountable? Because there are so many people that have facilitated the abuse of young children and women in our country.
No, I totally agree with you, and it's a real worry that the police and the politicians and all the people like that are going to get away with this, and they shouldn't.
That is my worry. They've got away with it for so long, and they're still getting away with it. And we all need to unite on that one thing. It's the football lads. They united because it is bigger than football. No one cares about Millwall against West Ham. This is about children, and it shows you there's Millwall against West Ham here. They are two of the biggest rivals in this country.
If you'd said what you just said 10 years ago, you'd have been
lynched. Well, one or the other. And you know, it is about if they can see that this is bigger than football, this is bigger than anything in this country. People need to be held accountable. People need to stand up. People need to actually put their neck on the line and say children are the most vulnerable. They are the ones that need protecting more than anyone in this country. In any country, every single country should be standing up for the protection and safety and well-being of their children.
Yes, of course they should.
You know, I remember being in Spain years ago and people saying to me, "What is wrong with you? You stand up for the safety and protection of dogs and cats, but you don't stand up for the safety and well-being of children." In the UK, why do you do that? We need to be out making sure that every single person stands up for the safety, protection and well-being of children. We come from a culture...
If we damage our children, we damage our nation, we damage our future, we damage everything.
Our future is gone, our culture is lost, our history is lost. So, yes, you can call me a racist, you can call me a fascist, you can call me a far-right thug, you can call me a Nazi. I don't care. I know what I'm doing is right. I know where my morals are. I know where my integrity is. And I know what I need to do as a human being, as an adult, and that is to protect the future and the safety of our children of this nation.
And I'm hoping this film goes wide out to everybody, because if these football supporters who used to be at real loggerheads with each other can come together over this issue, then the rest of us, whatever our colour, wherever we come from, the children are the most important thing.
If you look at the troubles that have gone on in Ireland and Northern Ireland for many decades, you only have to look at them. They can unite in certain areas. I'm not saying they're all fully united. I'm not going to profess to say that they are. However, they are coming together because they say we might have issues with one another. However, we are not going to let foreign invaders come in and attack our women and children.
Well, there you go. Nice to hear from you.
Lovely talking to you. He's a great man.
Right. That's because of where I was. What I'm going to try and do is get Nick out from the crowd, take him outside where we can have a quiet chat. Have you got a minute? Sorry to interrupt. You got a minute? Then, if we can go outside, because I gather the signal's not so good in here. Sorry. Well, I'm coming out. Hello. Right. Let's just. I'm coming out into the into a more open space, so the signal should be a bit better.
You won't get any sound quality in there either.
Right. We just you go and do that, and I'll. Right. Good. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Nick Tenconi, the UKIP leader, to come over and give us his take on this, because he was here at the beginning. He saw the whole film as well, so interesting to see. So yeah. So yeah, no, it was a good film. Really enjoyed it. And it showed how people could mobilise and come together. When you see the film, you'll see they're not politicians, they're not from the upper echelons of society or anything like that. They're just ordinary people, ordinary blokes and ordinary women. The women were playing a very pivotal part in it as well. It's not just the football lads. There were wives and mothers and all sorts involved as well. So it was a brilliant film, and I'm really hoping it comes out soon. And we'll see what happens when it does, and see if it galvanises people into thinking, actually, I do need to do something about this. But, it's up to us, really. So, yeah, that's my message out there for everybody. And the one thing about it wasn't heavy on things like, the actual story of the victims. It hinted at it. It said, and so they were making statements saying, but mostly it was about how a group of guys got together and organised themselves to actually do something, not just sit and listen, not just sit there and go, oh, doesn't that sound nasty? It was a case of people actually doing something, and that for me was the big message out of that film. So yeah, I'm really pleased that it was made. And as has been mentioned, I did attend one of the rallies where someone interviewed me, and they used a clip of it in the film itself, which okay. So that was really quite nice. But and that wasn't a clip of my video. That was someone talking to me and interviewing me at one of those events. So, and they use loads of footage like that across the board, people talking about how important this is and all the rest of it. So it's really, really, really is important.
Success.
Yes, it was. It was really good, wasn't it? Yeah, really good. Yeah, I'm still waiting for Phil. Sorry for Nick. Yeah. So at the end of the day, this is a very, very serious situation we find ourselves in. I think what I said actually when I was talked to in that film was, people are looking at this country just as Sarah White just said. People look at this country and say, why aren't you looking after your own children? Why? And that's what I said. They're the most important thing, and no one's looking after them. So what's going on here? Why has it suddenly become allowed? Why has it suddenly become, permitted to do this? Since when did that happen? Really? Since when? So it's a really big moment, I'm hoping, in the history of this nation, that we now start looking at our children and saying, actually, we need to protect them. That must be the most important thing now. If we don't protect our children, we're not protecting our heritage. We're not protecting anything. Nothing at all. Children are the most important thing. Yeah, how did we get here? Yeah, how did we get here? And people can say all they like about, people came here. I don't buy that argument. We should have been on top of this from the word go. The police should have been on this from the word go, and the courts. There should have been no dispensation for where you came from, because this is how these things happen. How are we going to reverse this? And as I said, what damage is this doing to young boys as well? How about the young boys who haven't been allowed to protect their friends, their female friends? How about them? How do they feel about all of this? Has it damaged them? I reckon it would have done. Do you imagine your girlfriend suddenly disappearing? This is just not good enough, is it really? We've got to do something about it. And that is, from this moment onwards, we really have got to get a grip on this. So I'm just adjusting my rucksack again. It keeps slipping off, but there you go. There's still quite a few people here. I gather they had two venues for the films. They had to show the venue. They had to show the film in two separate venues because the original venue cancelled on them for the usual reasons. So what they did was they split it up between two venues, and that way they get. They got was it 250 people, I think it is, in all at both the venues, and then they all came to this one, the Courthouse Hotel, at the end for a drinkies and meet up. So yeah, there you go. That's how that happens. Well, it's yeah. So I'm just dodging a few people as they go past.
When are you putting that out?
It's out, going out now.
Oh, it's going out live?
Yeah.
I've gone round the back.
Yeah. So I'm going to go and see if... Sorry, I'm just waiting for a moment. While I put my other strap on if I can. That might be better. I put the other strap on my coat, but the trouble is that it then makes it more difficult to take off. Yeah. Now here's a couple of gentlemen.
It gets wet.
No, I'm live at the moment, but I'm not listening.
Organisers, basically.
Yeah. There's the organisers. Yeah, look, one's had enough. He's just had enough. So
I'm trying to hold out for the after party.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
So give us a quick. You want to stand up if you? I mean, otherwise I've got to sit down. If I sit down, I'll never stand up. I know. So if you just introduce yourself and tell us all about yourself and what's going on.
My name is Phil Hickey. I'm one of the organisers of the Together for the Children campaign, which came out of the Football Lads Alliance, which we started in 2017, and we done some great work, had some great marches, went up and down the country, supporting children, coming out against grooming gangs, Sunderland, Manchester, Birmingham, all over the country. And then I had a drink.
Brexit.
COVID.
All of Brexit.
COVID come in and it all went a bit quiet. COVID come out, COVID stopped, a bit rudely, and we decided to come out. After all the stick that we got from the left, we thought, you know what, we'll just call our campaign Together for the Children. And it's still the Football Lads Alliance again, and Together for the Children. And we thought the left will leave us alone, but they never.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's very fucking weird. But I don't expect any different from them, to be honest, because they are mentally unstable.
You're listening, you lefties out there.
Mate, listen, I mean, look, my wife passed away on December the 10th, yeah?
Oh, sorry.
And they gave some awards away tonight in honour of her. It was called the Lorraine Hickey Awards. And when we started the FLA, she hated it because the stick I was getting from the left, they had me in the Guardian, they'd done a piece on me in the Guardian, they'd done a piece on me in the Daily Mail, and it upset her. But when we progressed into the Together for the Children campaign, she loved it because she thought they can't attack your film, but they still tried to. I mean, look at our last march in London, Together for the Children, and they still counter-protested it.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? I don't get it, but you know, it's down to them.
No, it's ridiculous, isn't it, really?
I've been listening.
See, they still have room for a bit of fun, even though this is a very serious thing.
Yeah, listen, we're enjoying that.
It was a great film, I must say. I did enjoy it. And
do you know what? I'll tell you the honest truth. My cousin done some of the filming for that, so I'd seen footage, but I'd never seen the actual documentary.
Oh, right, okay.
And I sat at the front, and I've got to admit, I got emotional because there was parts of it that were very emotional. And you know, it was good. It showed us, what we've done over the years. When we went to Telford and Rochdale midweek and put it on MPs, and we put it on police, the old bill and that. You know, no one knew about that. No one knew about that. And there was people in there tonight said to me, you know you've done that, and that's what we were about.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately COVID sort of stopped it dead.
Yeah.
And then everyone come out of COVID, no one really knew what was going on. It took us a couple of years to get back together, but we're back.
Yeah.
We're back, and we are the football lads together for the children.
Good.
And together we are stronger. We need it. Listen, we got our next march is our National Survivors Day march on the Saturday the 27th of June. We need everyone out for that because it's for supporting the survivors. We have, and in early June we're doing a walk for the children. We've got 32 areas at the moment up and down the country. We've got 25 different countries want to get involved, areas in different Thailand and blah blah blah.
Right, yeah.
And it's all to raise money for our campaign. Good. Now, what we use out of it will be, you know, for our demos, but whatever's left we give to charity.
Yeah.
You know, we're very transparent in what we do. We don't do this to earn money for ourselves. We do money, we earn it, we do it to pay for our demonstrations. Whatever's left goes to charity.
Yeah.
And everyone will know about it. Do you know what I mean?
Good. No, excellent. Well done.
Thanks
well done.
Thanks for
Great
coming.
stuff. No, not a problem. That's
And
the
you was
easy
in
bit.
it, I don't want you.
I know, that shocked me. Thank you, yeah. So that was one of the main organisers who actually got an award, and he was still trying to downplay what he did. He was still trying to downplay what he actually achieved in there, in that he's saying it was everybody else. And no, I've read up on him, and it's you know, yeah, really quite moving. You can tell there are a lot of footballers around, can't you, with all their... but they're full of spirits, you know, they're full of spirits. They are full of get up and go, full of spirit, and they want things done. So, yeah, it's really quite... it's quite humbling to see that a group of people could actually do that and get on with it and make it work. So, yeah. So I'm still trying to see, yeah, so Nick's a bit popular at the moment, as you can see behind me. He's very popular. People want to talk to him a lot, so yeah. But hopefully I'll be able to get a word with him before I finish. Yeah. So... Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, eh? Everything all right with you?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
The other venue watching the...
Oh, yeah. We're live at the moment.
Are you live?
Yeah, introduce yourself and tell us all about yourself.
Hello there. My name is Real British Media, Steve. That's my real name. I've got my channel, Real British Media, covering all the events, protests all around the country, spreading the real news. Yeah, doing a bit of talking head stuff as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Go for it.
Following in your footsteps, hopefully. But yeah, no, it's it was good. It was good.
So you enjoyed the film?
Yeah, I was invited along today, and I thought it was great how they showed from start to finish how the football lads have
Yeah, but that was the big thing, the inspiring thing, was that they didn't sit around and sort of moan, and they got on with it, did something. And I think
it must have been incredibly tough to get fierce rivals from opposing teams.
Arsenal and Tottenham and Hotspur.
I'm an Arsenal fan, and it was like, I can sort of see why.
No, it's that was the whole message, wasn't it? It was a positive message that these things can be done, and that was really, really, really good. Yeah, no, I loved it.
Yeah, I mean they're building a big crowd.
I was worried it would be full of sort of details, but it was, because that would have made it harder to publicise. You know, if you had lots of graphic details of what had happened, but that thankfully was sort of hinted at, but not glossed over.
That's where it hits home.
But that was added in, I think, tastefully, if you could call it that. So that,
I think sometimes they need to tell the raw story so it hits home more.
Yeah.
But I think they've done that in the past on the stage when they've done the For the Children event.
Yes. Yeah.
I've been to them all, and some of those stories have made me cry. I've had tears in my eyes watching them.
No, it's pretty horrific what they've been up to, isn't it? What those men, whoever they are, been up to. Anyway, you keep up the good work.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get some cool air to deflate.
Oh right, yeah.
It's boiling.
I'm trying to get told.
Go in, boys, come on!
Oh, there's going to be a noisy event, I think, very shortly. Yeah.
In terms of collaboration, what we do is essentially I can come and I can be platformed and I can speak.
Right, I'm just.
When there are rallies like
So,
this.
you want us all in? All right. They want us all in the bar. Nick, they want us in the bar. Yeah, they want us in the bar for some reason. So how's it go? Oh, right, okay. All right.
Now he's gone.
I'm determined, now that I've said I'll talk to Nick, to talk to Nick. But it is proving a little bit difficult. Right, let's see if I can get hold of the man.
If a pluralist who don't like a message and just want to reject it, don't even come to our rallies. You ready, yeah?
I think he's sorting out an itinerary event for the future somewhere. But while we're doing that, what I'm going to do is just show you the poster. That's the poster that came with the event. So yeah,
do an interview.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay as near to the door as I can, not to lose the signal. Otherwise, if I lose the signal, but everybody's in and out at the moment. Anyway, that is the. That was the reason I'm in London, was for the Football Lads Alliance, Together for the Children film, which should be coming out in the next few days, I'm told. I'm not sure how it's coming out. Here's another one of the great... how are you? Now, introduce yourself. Tell us all about yourself and what involvement you had with all this.
So basically, my name's Liam Galvin. I was like co-director with Justin Smith for this production, which was quite an honour. I've been following all the marches over the years, and then I didn't realise that Justin he'd been doing the marches as well. So we joined together and combined footage and created this piece today. So it was quite an honour. And it's very weird when you film something and edit it, you don't know how people are going to react to it when they watch it. And you're thinking, well, are they going to get fed up with it? Are they not going to like it? Or this, that and the other. And it makes you quite emotional because people got very emotional watching it, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
You know, so it was an emotional thing.
Actually, there was a lot of audience participation.
Yes, there
was actually, because when people were speaking, suddenly everyone was clapping, and it was like a live event.
Yes, it was a bit like a football crowd, but then we did have a lot of football supporters here.
Yeah, that was a funny old thing, right?
So that's probably the reason. So anybody watching this at the moment now, Jeff does so much good work. He's really, one of the unsung heroes of the kind of circuit. Very, very popular online. But I don't think you get enough credit, Jeff, for the work that you do.
Oh, thank you.
And actually, Jeff appeared in this film. We didn't know he was going to appear, but he was in it anyway, and he did an absolutely fantastic job. So always subscribe to Jeff. He's a good man, and so look after yourself, Jeff.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, I won't have to bother to say like, subscribe and comment. Will after that. Thank you very much, Liam. That was Liam Galvin. He's got his own YouTube channel, by the way, which he didn't mention. So yeah. Anyway, still dodging people, bringing chairs in and stuff. Right. One of the people that is here is Lucy Connolly. So she's in the crowd as well. Sorry. So that's... I'm not going to interrupt because she seems to be with lots of other people, so I'll leave her to enjoy the evening. I'm just wondering if anybody does talk to me in between when I get hold of Nick. He seems to be having a very long conversation with someone. I'm going to adjust the camera a bit slightly. That's a bit better. Makes it easier on the hand. So I'm going to go back out into the quieter area. Have we still got a good signals, Richard? Good, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, just making sure. Because I think the room where the bar is got loads of walls around it, and it might be dampening the signal a bit. But yeah. Yeah, Nick's still there, chatting away. As I've got to be going soon, so I do want to get hold of him. But in the meantime, I'll just show you a back shot of the bar area. So I'll just, if we can keep the signal, I'll just take you in so you can see the number of people that are here. Yeah, that's where we are. Full of people and very busy. I'm just worried about the signal, obviously. Trying to move in and out of people. Hello. Yeah, I'm live at the moment. So, what did you think of the film? Oh, introduce yourselves.
I'm Sharon Richards.
He's not
a
young chap called Tony from Birmingham.
Right, okay, yeah. So what did you think of the film?
Brilliant.
Very good.
Emotional.
Yeah.
Very emotional.
Memories.
All right, yeah.
You've got memories from many years when it all started.
It had to be made though, didn't it?
Oh, yes.
It had to be made. But what gets me is it took a group of thuggish footballers, to actually, men and some real dedicated women to do it. Because the story coming out about this was a phenomenal self-sacrifice. It was brilliant.
It was an alliance of coming together.
Yeah. My husband was one of the original, Jim, with Phil and all the lads. They put it out there on Facebook, so all the teams got together, all met up from the very first day, and that's it. And that's how it all happened.
How did they keep them apart? How did they keep them apart?
It wasn't like that. We were all like family. There's no rivalry, we knew that we've got to make a stand sometime, and that's when it all started.
I'm glad it did.
And then all the women